All right. So let me start by getting out. I'm going to select the sign that I want to control. I double click on this and I get something like this. Now just because I select on this sign here doesn't mean that I'm limited to that sign. I can also select any one of these signs and I can see what it's doing at the moment for that sign. Okay. Now from here there are these tabs here that tells me what the message is doing, and this is looking at the library. Within each library here, I can select different libraries of events that have something else associated to it. And I can assign, the first number here corresponds to the sign, and the second note here tells me what I want to do with the sign. So if I select on this, I might want it to turn left and right or something. And this gives me a WYSIWYG of what the sign might display as I select on one of these. So the operator always knows if I chose this and I did that, what would be the display before he puts it on. Okay, and then I can activate it here. Now over here, the default means just default operation, and operator means that this is something that the operator can do on the fly. Like he can put in a free text and he can type in something like test, and he can just activate right away without having to get out of this interface and go to somewhere else. And scheduler here means that there's a time of day schedule that's running in the background that if I choose to, I can deactivate it right here. And look at deactivate is the same as to blank out a sign, right? So I can do this individually for every one of these signs here. I can turn it on or off. I can override with something else, all right? And if I want to look at the sign status, I click on here and it will tell me, okay, this is the setting for the sign and if the sign's in trouble or not. And this is the communications tab where it says communications is okay. If it has any problems with communications, like this one here, it might tell me if I have communication problems. And this here is a message editor. If I choose to get into the message editor, I can, well, that's the other way of getting in there, Steve.
Okay.
I can also get into the message editor and I can edit and I can put in signs and messages for the signs into a library to be called later. Now, what's nice about this one though is instead of having one long list of a bunch of different sign messages, I can arrange them by events. So for instance, my event that I'm looking at, let's say I have an auto show, right? If you notice this changes every time I click on something else, that changes. So I click on auto show and you'll see right here all these signs here that are tied to this one event. That way I don't have to scroll through and see hundreds and hundreds of these, and it's very difficult for me to manage and scroll through and find the message I want for that particular event. So I have auto show event, and this will tell me sign number 10, I want them to turn right on West Street, and you can see right here, right? It's very easy to see, and if there's a second page here, because it's dual page system, I can click on here and let's see what sign this says. So sign 11, I want them to go straight ahead, but if I want them to turn left at another time, I might click on this. So go straight ahead and then turn left on West. But at sign 12, I might want them to go to Garden Walk for parking, or I might want them to park at Stadium. And all that has to do with only one event, auto show. And it's really easy for me to find it, and it's really easy for me to organize it. And then I can just go away with this, and I can do, I don't usually do this. This is really nasty. But you can, make it brighter or darker and all that. And we don't mess with this because you can really get in trouble. We don't play around with the fonts because we can get in trouble with that. And multiple sign displays. We can have multiple things come on at the same time. We don't usually do that either. But you can see the gist that from this one GUI, you can do almost anything you want. And so that concludes my demo of this GUI.